All right, so let's take a look at opening up the menu in a slightly different way. So I'm going to click down on Open Menu over here, and you'll notice that what happens is the menu thumbnails come up as usual, but the camera also moved off to the back to basically to the center of the scene. And then if I close the menu again, they're going to go down and fade away, and then it's going to take us back to the car over here. So it's a little bit of a different effect, and one that I found was kind of useful for this particular scene where we were jumping around from basically the center point where the menu was ideal. Okay, so it was a kind of a nice thing to figure out how to do, and I didn't have to put in any extra properties for it. Okay, so this is what makes it work. First off, we do have in here a camera phone and a camera pad. All right, so there's two different cameras, one for the iPhone, one for the just the iPad, or if you left out the phone, it could be for both of them. But and then we've got our menu close. All right, so that's one element over here. The texture, I hate to do this, is close menu, but the name is menu closed. Kind of forgot I did that. And then of course it's a custom class of element, and then right underneath that, confusing things is we've got menu open. Again, somehow the texture ended up as open menu, and then we've got again a custom class of element. So let me go ahead and just put that right back over top of the other one. And then in terms of the other things that we've got to deal with, let's see, we've got our map. Okay, and that's actually what the camera is going to move back to when you open the menu. All right, so again, it's got a name of element in there. And then we actually have our menu, which is hidden off to the side here. So here it is. This is a reference file. So you can make a new scene and you can put all whatever elements you want inside of there. So for example, here's our menu, and our thumbnails are kind of tucked away down here at the bottom. Each one of them has a menu 1, menu 2, so on like that. And to get that into the map scene or any other scene that you want to bring it into, all you have to do is just drag it in, and you can see you've got this reference node, which basically really just kind of gets treated like any other thing in the kit. But I did give this a name of menu, and I am hiding that right away just for appearance here in the scene, so I can just kind of ignore it. But over here in the property list, one of the things that we do right away with our events is we show that menu, even though the thumbnails inside of it are not actually going to be shown. We get rid of those. All right, so let's take a look at some of what's going on. Well, one of them you just saw over here. Another event that gets run right away is the menu close text or button really is going to get hidden. All right, so that's not going to be right on top of our menu open right away. And then, speaking of our menu open, what I've done is, in case I want to use this in other pages other than just the map file, you can put elements inside of here that are going to be kind of shared among other pages. So if you're looking for the menu open, it's inside of this dictionary in the root, not inside of the actual page itself. So here's our menu open. One thing I'm doing is ignore all touch events when hidden equals yes. So that means that you can't kind of accidentally do anything with this this image or button when it's hidden. Okay, and it's just kind of a good idea if you're going to be doing something like this. And then for our touch event, what we're doing is we are going to hide, and you can see there's no string value inside of here, so we're just hiding itself. When you leave that blank, it's just going to operate on whoever you touched. And then sounds weird. And then show, what we're doing is we are showing our menu close button, and then we're also showing all of our particular menu items inside of there. Then we are also setting up a pan gesture on the x-axis. That's what makes it so we can move back and forth, and those thumbnails travel with the user's finger. So again, it's panning all of these particular items. And then we also have a run action called move up and show. And again, this is an array, so it's defining multiple items to do that too. Again, menu 1 through 6. And then we are setting camera follows to none. Okay, And then finally what we're doing is we're animating node to node, and that's kind of a convenience action that basically just takes whatever you put over on here on this side and animates it using an ease out transition over to our map, okay, or whatever you put in over here. And if one of these doesn't exist, for example, if you're on the iPhone and you have a camera pad or a camera specifically for the iPad, it's going to delete it out. So it's safe, in other words, to just put in there both of them. Okay, so that's that is what moves the camera over here to the map. And then let's explain this action: move up and show. All that's going on there. If you go over here to our kit actions, we've got move up and show, and this is just fade in. There's really nothing to put in here other than your time. And then for the move, what we're doing is we are moving up 350 points those thumbnails, so they go right up. And while we're over here, let's also look at move down and hide. So there's another version. There's another one that we're going to run when we close the menu. So in this case, it's going to be move down. So it's going to move down exactly that same amount, negative 350. We're going to fade it out, and then at the end of it, we end up hiding it. So let's cut back over here to the property list. And yes, let's take a look at menu close. So fold that all up. All right. Again, ignore all touch events. And then for our actual touch event, we're hiding itself, okay, because we're no longer going to use menu close anymore. It's going to switch to showing menu open. So that's one of the things we're going to show, menu open. We are removing the pan, and yes, so we're putting in here all the items that we are going to remove from panning. And then we are running an action. This is going to be move down and hide, which we just looked at. But of course, we need to put in here all the items that action that is going to occur on. And then finally, we are animating node to node. And then we're taking our camera for the pad and cam phone. And these are just the names of them, by the way, in the scene. And then we're moving them to our vehicle. Now, there's one thing though. That would not, just doing this is not actually attaching the camera to the vehicle, okay? And that happens when we go back over here to our map, look under elements, under vehicle, touch event. Anytime you touch down on the vehicle, we're setting camera follows to the vehicle, okay? So this is a property that's just going to make the camera follow that particular item. And that way, you know, the next time you end up touching the vehicle, the camera will then begin following it. But prior to that, when you just close the menu, it is it's just going to animate smoothly back to that particular element. So right now, it's basically the camera is not attached to follow this, but then as soon as I click down on it, it's going to start following it. Makes sense. And it's perfectly safe to just kind of keep running camera follows every time you touch down on it. And I believe that is all we have to talk about. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to forget that we haven't actually, in this video at least, talked about the menu buttons themselves. So, what I'm referring to here are where are they? Our little thumbnails over here. All right, so each one of them is named Menu 1. It's got a texture of Menu 1. They are, of course, elements. And to go find their properties inside of the property list, you would look under elements, because these are kind of shared among many other pages. And each one of them functions basically the same way. We've got over here touch up event. So when you, not when you touch down, but when you actually touch up on it, so basically you touch down and then you release, it'll run this action. It is going to open the page, cover, and then again we've seen here ignore all touch events when hidden. So if it is hidden, it's not going to, we can't accidentally touch it. And then note that these are separate from the actual touch up event. We're setting its hidden property to yes. So when the page first loads up, or whenever those menu buttons are first seen, they're all going to be not seen because they are actually hidden. And again, each one of these functions the same way as the other one. All we're doing here is just changing what page we're actually opening up. And in terms of any other final properties that might apply to this, let's go. Where am I going? Let's go over here to our property list. You can set under your page settings an offset for the camera and how it kind of locks on to the whatever node it is following. So basically, whatever number you put in here, and you can do this for both the do camera offset and then camera offset phone. This is going to adjust. So for example, if I put in here 300, that means that the camera is actually going to end up being 300 above where the vehicle is at. But of course, we won't want to do that because we probably won't be able to see the vehicle as it would be out of the frame. Okay, so that's how this works. And remember, you can get the Storyteller's iOS Starter Kit 2 at cartoonsmart.com.